Welcome back to Life in All Directions, the podcast where we keep it real about life, growth, and so many different paths that we take to become better every single day. I'm your host, Dante Street, and today we have an extremely special guest. I'm really excited about this. My friend Taylor Gelow with us today. She is a wife, she is a mom, and she is also a model. She is someone who has walked through addiction. She has embraced motherhood. She's raising children with special needs, even. So we're going to talk about all of that today, and also while holding down the role as a mom and the queen of the fort. So, uh, without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Taylor.
Hello, everybody.
What's up, Taylor? Hey, thank you so much for being with us today. So this is really awesome. I'm happy to be here. And as we can see, we get a true mom in the full mom mode right now. This is
Oh yeah,
awesome. So
always.
for so those of that don't know your story, like let's say those from my following that don't know you or know your story, give us a little bit of
Mhm.
background of your journey. Everything from like, doing modeling photo shoots or just, photo shoots in general, from motherhood and, overcoming some obstacles and things in your life to where that's gotten you to where you at today.
Okay, so born and raised in Napa. I moved to New York right after graduation to go to film school. That did not pan out too well. I was in a very abusive relationship, so I came home. And then just kind of tried to find myself after that. I was doing the modeling thing, dabbling in that, and then like most young, dumb teenagers, found myself in addiction, got myself out of that finally. I've got 16 years clean now. And yeah, I got, and I've got three feral boys who are on the spectrum. Yeah. But, yeah, they keep me on my toes and they keep me very busy. Yeah, get away.
Yeah. So, I mean, so all three boys are on the spectrum. Is that safe to say?
Yeah, we are getting in the process of getting the baby evaluated, but yeah, there's signs.
Yeah, no, and if
So
you've seen it before, I'm sure that you're familiar with some
yeah,
some things you may be seeing. But I mean, it would, every probably case is a little different. Is that safe to say? Because I mean, they say look out for, the running on the tiptoes, the happy flaps, things like that. And we've had our conversations of things that I've seen with my kid,
exactly.
and but there are different things. I mean, I truly hope my kid, if he does have autism, it's more closer to like that Rain Man and we can take trips to Vegas. That's more along the lines of what I'm
Right.
hoping for. But
Yeah.
um
The Sheldon-tism.
so I mean, raising kids with autism, like that's it's got to be challenging. What's that journey been like for you as a mom from the first kid to now number three?
So with the first one, it was weird because I didn't when I was pregnant, I didn't worry about any other things. I was and always in the back of my mind, I was like, it's like autism was always in the back of my mind. I don't know why. Because it was still fairly new up until recently. He just turned 7, so it was still kind of like there was a stigma around it. But I'd say around 1, I started noticing. 2, we got him evaluated because eating, speech, all of it really regressed. It wasn't too scary. I was really optimistic about everything. And then when my middle one started showing signs, I was like, okay, we've been down this road before. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Like the dog with the flames. It's fine. But
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
we it's been interesting. There's been a lot of good days. There's been a lot more bad days. Um, we're kind of in the throes of the bad right now with minimal wins, but there's still wins. I mean, like with any stage of parenting, there's good days and bad days, good seasons, bad seasons. But it's been interesting. Um, they are the happiest kids I've ever met. And even though they're mostly nonverbal, non-conversational, they still say please and thank you. And, they have manners, which is crazy because there's, typical kids who talk that don't even have manners. But it's been interesting. It's been fun. And yeah, they surprise me every day. Like there's some regressions when they've learned something new, they'll lose another skill they already had, but we get it back eventually. It's just gotta keep supporting them and know that, it'll get it'll get better. It gets worse before it gets better, but we're in it together, and then we'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, as my kid's 2 right now, and it's like I get every bit of the terrible twos, and there's definitely some signs there that we're going to get him tested and
Mhm.
trying to learn as much as you possibly can about it. But even from being a parent, right? The first time being a parent, you're like, I have no idea what the hell I'm doing, and
Exactly. I
then
still
it's
feel
like,
that
oh,
way.
yeah, and then you feel like you're let's throw a little bit more onto that, you know what I mean, while you're trying to figure out parenting. And and there's so many times where it's like, you beat yourself up as a parent at times where it's like, damn, like what the hell am I doing? Like, should I have done that differently, or how can I have done that differently? And it's I truly believe, I think at times with parents, like becoming a parent or just being a parent alone, is that when if you ever question yourself if you're a good parent, I think that's when you probably are a good parent. If you're just kind of
Yeah,
cocky and
exactly.
you don't
Yeah.
think you think you know everything and this and that, then you're probably a shit parent. But
Yeah. That's
um,
kind of how it
now
goes.
now, parents that like are possibly coming into, seeing a diagnosis with their child having autism and, possibly seeing early signs, like what do you think they can do to like possibly prepare themselves or, whether it be emotionally or mentally, because there's a lot of emotions that go into it where
Right.
I'm sure you've had
Right.
those days where you're like, Jesus, like I would almost give my left arm for just 5 moments of silence.
Right. Yeah. So with that, everybody, is stressed out and they think that a diagnosis is going to change everything. It doesn't. Like your kid's the same kid that they were prior to the diagnosis, just now you have hopefully the resources for early intervention and, therapies and whatnot. But your kid's going to be the same with or without the diagnosis. It's just either you have help or you don't. And then, yeah, like some people go through the grieving stage. Some people do the toxic positivity, like everything's fine, we're gonna be great. That's what I did, and then I hit the, I don't know, not so much grieving stage, but it was just kind of spiraling into the reality of the major struggles that my older two boys go through. So it's a roller coaster, honestly, with the diagnosis and all that. I was really, really optimistic, like I said, with the first two, and then now seeing all their struggles lately with the aggressions, and they have self-injurious behaviors, and they, have a lot of stuff that isn't fun to deal with, like eating non-edible food. It's a lot of dangerous stuff. Like they need constant supervision. They're very high support needs kids. So it's exhausting, but I mean, what kid isn't? So,
Yeah, no, 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 absolutely.
but with my third, it's like I see the signs. Like I know what's coming, kind of. Like I don't know what where on the spectrum he'll be, but I feel like I've already gone through the worst of it right now. So um, I think it'll be okay, but there's still moments where I get kind of sad because like I'm already burnt out.
I
But
I couldn't only imagine. Like I really
yeah,
could.
so
I
but
mean,
it's I mean it's a journey. Parenting is ghetto, but it's worth it. Like our kids are worth it. So
yeah, I mean, I've always said that like your kid can drive you absolutely just batshit crazy, and they just come running up to you with a smile, and you forget about every possible crazy thing they've ever done just for the day, even, and
exactly. Oh yeah.
like never mind the fact that you just like threw a full on car at my face.
My God, yeah. Have you seen that picture where I had the
I
the
did.
blood and the
I
black eyes?
did. Yeah, I
Oh my
did.
God.
Your poor husband. People are probably like, "Did she not listen or something?" Or like, "What happened?"
Right? Yeah, no, yeah, whenever that would happen, like I would be covered in bruises. He's like, you really have to wear a long sleeve. I'm like, it's summertime. He's like, you have a black eye. You're not allowed to go in the store. I'm like, why not? Because he knows I'll mess with them. Like if we're in the store, we're like, don't hit me again or something like that. But
Oh god, you just torment him.
I've only done it like once or twice, but I just, just to see him freak out, it's funny. But
Yeah. So funny thing is like my kid, like man, like he will scream at like the top of his lungs. You know what I mean?
oh
When
yeah,
it's
that
time to
like
go to like bed.
pterodactyl banshee
Oh
scream.
my god, it sounds like he's getting stabbed,
Oh yeah.
and I literally have to record him, because I'm so scared that somebody's going to call CPS on me and be like, "Hey, he's beating his kid in there." And I'm like, I'm not even, I'm not, I'm like 5 feet away from him. Like my hands are,
You're like, I
you
just
know,
asked him to brush his teeth. That's it.
Yeah, like, I didn't even it's not even that, like, "Could you go lay in your bed, please?" Like, just we know that you're only gonna be in there for, like, 2 hours, and then you're gonna come
Yeah.
charge it in my room, and so he
Could you
does this
not hang
thing.
from the ceiling fan?
Well, yeah, no, the whole, like, where he's standing on top of a table, like, caught him on top of the table one time, and he's, like, looking at the fan, above in the kitchen, and it's like he's got this look on his face like, "Hi, I'm Johnny Knoxville. Welcome to
Oh
Jackass."
yeah, for sure.
Oh, Jesus, please, no. Like, and so, I did hear this quote where it's like having a toddler is like trying to take care of your best drunk friend, right? Like you're
That's
trying to
hard.
keep them from doing harm to themselves, keep them from doing harm to other people. And then it's like, oh, hey, by the way, here's your favorite burrito from Taco Bell that I know that you always love. And then they throw it at you like, no, I don't want that.
Yeah, that's gross. I've never eaten that in my life. Really, bro.
Yeah, yeah, but it's definitely a part of the journey. So, I mean, what do you feel like as a parent though? Like, I know there's times where we just beat ourselves up, but like, what do you feel like where there's one moment as a mom that you may have quote unquote messed up, and like, what do you feel like it teached you like from that moment?
Well, I mean, I do. There's times where I feel bad, but I'm like, oh, I've got three kids and they all need high support. It's like, should I have stopped at one? Should I have stopped at two? But you feel bad that you're not spending enough time or doing enough. But I mean, I feel like that anyway. Like, even if I did have one kid, I'd be like, I don't spend enough time with them, even though we're together like 24/7, literally, 'cause they don't sleep. So, it's just, I just have to give myself grace because, especially when you have a kid that has, special needs, you're gonna beat yourself up and like, what did I do wrong? Where did I mess up? Am I doing enough? Am I doing this? Am I pushing too hard? So it's just either any way I look, I feel like I'm messing up, and I'm like, I hope, you know, whatever kind of therapy they'll need because of me isn't too bad because they have the supportive therapy right now where they're just learning to cope with life. Oh, typical kids just get it, and then my kids don't. So I feel kind of bad for that, that instead of going to sports practice or play dates, there's where they're, you know, having to do other stuff like that. It's just all therapy. And then their therapists are like my closest friends because I don't have time for anything else. So it's just, you always feel like you're doing something wrong. So I can't really pick one thing in particular, but it's just, mostly probably the gentle parenting. Try to be and regulate myself while regulating their emotions is what probably causes me the most, I guess, distress because I don't want to react too harshly, but I don't want to be too soft. So it's finding that fine line. So
Yeah, I struggle with that myself, as a parent, to where that like what is that line of discipline, and where what is that fine line, right? Like, is it like a pat on the ass, you know what I mean? Or where, I tried to do soap in the mouth the other day with my kid because he was just screaming and telling me no to like everything, right? And I'm like, all
yeah,
right,
I hate
you're gonna get the soap. Let me tell you what this guy did. So he gets the soap and he looks at me and smiles and says more. And you want to talk about a moment of defeat where I'm like, I don't, I don't have anything in me. You know what? I think there's my spring in the hallway closet. I'll be right back. We got to bring out the big guns here, dude. And so, we just did like the dish soap and he's like, more. And I'm like, oh, that's, man, I don't got it. You know what? Like, I don't got anything left in the tank, buddy. I'm sorry. You win. Um,
yeah.
But with all the chaos you feel that happens at times, right? Like with, running the house, right? Because it's not just always being a mom, right? Like it's how do I like keep the house clean or dinner or just,
Yeah.
the bills, right? Like making sure the bills are paid. Like I know a lot of wives where it's like the husbands go to work, they bring in the money and the wife makes sure every single bill is paid. And, then 50 or 60 years later, if the wife is gone or if there's a divorce that happens, God forbid, but if the wife is
I'd be
gone,
screwed for sure.
like I see it all the time. Like I see it at work. Guys can't figure out. They're like, "How do I pay the bill?" And I'm like, "You just go online and pay the bill." Like, what do you mean? I don't know how to use a
Yeah,
computer. I'm like, all right, well,
it's
just
awful.
mail a check. Like, how do you find like your moment of peace? Like in all of it. Like, is it maybe the photo shoots where you can kind of have some time away, or what is it for you where you
Yeah.
get that moment?
So I was like, how I was brought up, like if you have time to like sit around and be bored, you have time to clean. So I kind of, but it's turned into rage cleaning. So I'm constantly cleaning my house. Plus, I have a 1-year-old who's still like lift the floors or whatever. So I have to make sure the floors are clean or the boys, aren't, making a horrible mess. But my house is usually always clean because they're so feral and they're always covered in bruises that I don't want someone to call CPS on me and then my house look like a train wreck too. So like, no, my house is clean. They're taken care of. I swear there's crazy. I have security cameras to prove it, like because the older two elope. So I have to have locks on all the doors. I have security cameras inside and outside the house just so I know where they're at all times. But to find that break is probably cleaning when everybody's asleep, just putting on music and cleaning. And then yeah, the photo shoots help when I'm feeling like super down or spiraling about just how life is going. It helps to like, I guess, be somewhere else or just not think about what's going on or be in the mix because I'm still stressing when I'm gone. Because like you said, like even though he's their dad, he's capable, I'm still like, you're not doing it right. You don't put it in the right cup or you're not using the right bowl. You didn't mix the food the right portion. So it's constant. And then yeah, when it comes to the bills, it's funny when we first started dating, I was awful. Like I was in so much debt. I didn't have a bank account. I was like, feral basically. And then now he's domesticated me so much that I take care of everything. The house, the yard, the bills. He's locked us out of our online banking so many times he's not allowed to have an account anymore or sign it on. And then yeah, I have to write everything down. Like this is when things come out that he's like, I don't understand. We're never getting a divorce because I'm screwed. So, so
Yeah,
we're
I'm not
locked
allowed
in
to be
for
left
that.
alone.
Yeah, basically, I'm like, okay, you feed me, I'll do everything else. So he's the chef, and I take care of everything else.
Well, that's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, like he
I
taught me how to cook, but like, yeah, I do everything else.
I thought you were gonna lead with like if you go out of town, like you leave like pizza money on the stove and like, hey, like here's just order a pizza, you'll figure it out. But
Oh yeah,
but it
no,
sounds like he does all the
I would
cooking,
have to
so
do. He cooks. Like I would just have to leave groceries for him, or I could DoorDash him stuff. But he doesn't even know how to DoorDash, or then like even though he doesn't have any of that. Like I have all that. He just tells me to do it for him. But yeah, I don't go anywhere with because I can't go out of town because I don't have anybody to watch the kids. And if we were to go anywhere, we'd go together plus the kids. But yeah, if I'm gone for a few hours, I'm like, do you have enough food? Do you need food? Like, do your kids need food? So like, I'm constantly just mothering the boys and him. So it's like I have four kids.
do you feel that like, you know, with having kids with the special needs, like for me, like I'll say this like with me, like I feel like I can't take him to certain places like right now.
Oh
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like he's
Hmm.
not he's not ready for it. Like, like one of my buddies was like, you should take him to ball games and stuff like that. I'm like, he wouldn't, it would be too much. Like, he would
Yeah.
be ready to run on the field by like the second inning.
Oh yeah.
That's all I need to be on Sports Center chasing a toddler. Um, you know, but
It'd be a
I
cool
mean,
reel though. I mean,
no, absolutely. That's definitely, that might go viral, right? That'll help out the podcast for sure.
yeah.
Um, So what kind of advice do you feel that like you would maybe tell parents that may feel overwhelmed like on this journey of parenting? And I'm definitely one of them. So I'm all ears. Like I feel like the walls cave in at times.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then that's how I felt before the third one. Like I was always, I would take the older two places by myself. And then, they're super fast because they're kids. They're little critters and they would go in opposite directions. So it helped back before I had a third, keep me in shape. But I couldn't go anywhere that wasn't fenced in unless I had like an extra person with me, like my niece or a friend that will actually chase them. I'm not joking when I say that they're like the road runner. They just take off. Yeah, I always say that I had two Donny Thornberries. They're just so crazy. Or I burst like, the cast of Jackass because they're everywhere. But we don't go out to eat because I mean, for one, the boys don't eat anything. And if we don't have a tablet to keep them entertained, they're dancing on tables, they're throwing things. It can be overwhelming. I think if we were to take them out more to kind of like build up that immunity, it might have helped. But their dad isn't really a public person either. He doesn't like to be out in public and he gets overwhelmed really easy. So it's hard. getting him to like relax if we're out and then he's acting up. So it's just easier to stay home, which sucks for all of us. But I mean, with some of my friends who have kids on the spectrum, they're able, they've just, like I said, built up the immunity and found like their strengths and weaknesses on where their like threshold is basically. I still haven't found it yet with the boys because they are constantly changing, but it's just they like going out when they're by themselves, so I have to do separate trips if I do take them anywhere. But like Emmett wants to be friends with everybody, so he takes jumping out of the cart and like chasing people or like trying to go home with people. I'm like, that's how stranger danger comes about. And then Colt self-harms, so if he starts getting frustrated, he's like beating the shit out of himself. And then people are looking at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, don't mind us. So it's just,
It could
you
be
just have
you,
to,
so better him doing it to
yeah.
himself than you, lady. So just
Oh,
keep moving.
yeah. Well, it usually ends up being me. So I'm like, or they think, if they're having a meltdown and I'm trying to get them out. People are like, I'm like, I have a million pictures on my phone just to prove. Why would I steal this one? This one is freaking out. Like, so
Yeah.
it's a fine line. I think I've built up that, I get not humility, but I've built up just the presence, I guess, that I don't pay attention to the stares anymore or the whispers or whatever, because I've dealt with it within my own family and friend group that I don't care if strangers stare when they're having, issues outside. So I'm like, they don't know what's going on. But now that autism is more like is becoming more known, it's easier because I just put shirts on that say like they're autistic or something about regulating, and then people don't stare as much.
And moms, make sure you don't take Tylenol either. So, but
Yeah, exactly.
but
Exactly.
anyways,
Do the detox
um,
fast. They'll be doing calculus at 4 years old.
no, I really hear you though, because like with my kid, I like we'll go to the park, right? And man, I feel like he gets going, and I'm like, man, like I really gotta find like a park that has like a chained fence around it. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
because like when I'm running after him, like I gotta take angles. Like I can't catch him from behind. Like I gotta like treat him almost like
Yeah,
it's a football
serpentine.
type of deal. You know, like yeah, I have to treat it like it's like a foot like drills I teach my football players. Like, hey, like this
Right.
is you got to take an angle here. You're not going to catch this kid from behind. Um, but being like the mom, like like when the days like when you have all of the kids and you're at that wits moment, like what's that moment or that thing that you may have to do to like calm yourself? Because I as a parent sometimes like, man, there's times where I'm just like not ready to snap, but it's like the voice gets escalated a lot quicker than it should sometimes.
Yeah.
And I myself try to do the whole like count to 10, if you will, before I like respond. But by the time I'm getting ready or go through that 10, he's already on to the next thing, ready to go nuts. And I'm got to start the countdown all over again. So,
Yeah, right. Yeah. So usually if I start, feeling like the rage building where I don't want to snap, but I know the snap is coming, I usually just have to, I go find something to clean, which sounds horrible because it sounds like a typical mom thing. But I just put on music and kind of like have a little dance party, or the kids and I have a dance party all together, just so all of us will kind of calm down. And yeah, just I draw something, I write down my feelings, something, or I just go out and garage and scream real quick after, you know,
yeah,
taking a little mom break, little tuss puff break. So
right.
yes,
I will.
I'm not like a wine mom, but I'm more a can of mom. I feel it helps with gentle parenting, but I also don't always suggest that because, but
Well,
who knows?
I think it's perfectly fine for that too. I'm a very big believer in the can of mom is because I feel like there's such a stereotype on that sometimes, like, oh my God, she's smoking a joint. Like, what's wrong with her? Well, it's no different than the lady that comes home and has 2 glasses of wine, right? Like, she's going to be sitting over here and, dousing herself in Pinot Grigio. And I went and smoked a joint. Like, leave me the hell alone. Like, it's fine. And I can still
Yeah.
function. Like, very
Yeah,
fine, right?
I'm just gonna laugh more and play with my kids more, and then we're gonna eat a bunch of yummy snacks. That's all that happens. So yeah, I'm like, I'm not passed out, not no shade to the wine mom. It's just I don't like how I feel when I'm drinking, and then it's just when I smoke, I feel like I'm more focused and can like get to their level in a way. Like the all the worries kind of dissipate, like all the stress. So I'm like, am I doing this right? Am I doing that right? And then once I smoke a little, and I'm like, oh, okay, we're just gonna focus on the present instead of worrying about everything in the future. So.
So I wanted to ask you a little bit about um, how you got to where you are today, right? And I mean by that is like, 16 years sober is quite an amazing and beautiful journey, and I totally tip my hat to you for that. Um, when do you feel that like when you were going through your addiction, like when did you get to a point where like, okay, this is enough, I got to change. Like there's a fork in the road.
There was a major like there I had tried to quit so many times and it was always, you go through a breakup or you don't feel good enough or you want to be skinny, all that stupid, teenage girl bullshit or just teenagers in general. I it really clicked when I had tried so many times by myself that I was desperate to get help that I ended up getting myself arrested. Like not purposely, like I didn't go out and like steal something or like run into a building or anything. Was hanging out with the wrong crowd. I had a lot of things, bad things happen to me that I wouldn't wish on anybody else. And I just wanted a different change of scenery and a more peaceful life because the drugs weren't doing what I thought they would do. So I ended up, I was like, okay, I'm gonna quit, and then I ended up taking a friend off or whatever. I didn't know this house was being watched where I dropped her off, and then I ended up getting pulled over. They searched my car, tried to pin a bunch of stuff on me, but then all the charges got dropped. While I was in rehab, they got arrested, got bailed out that night. Um, and then within 2 days, I was in a 90-day rehab program. And I kept my nose down. I did all the work my counselor had me do. I actually did all the assignments for all the counselors just to keep myself busy. Like I did everybody's work basically. And just really focused on finding myself, what I wanted in life, and it sounds cliche, but like loving myself, I guess. Not listening to all the negativity that I had grown up listening to. Because, there's a lot of people putting you down when you're growing up or you take it the wrong way. And then years later, I find out that I'm also on the spectrum. So that, kind of made more sense as to things. How I guess, my perspective on how like the words people said to me. So, yeah, I finally was like, I'm done. I went to all the meetings and I was like, I don't need to go to the meetings because it turned into people were still using while going to the meetings. And I just changed my whole circle. I made new memories where there were bad memories. And, yeah, my worst day sober is better than my best day high. So I just focus on that I could be doing a lot better than I was and I am now. So that's why I keep going because I'm not gonna let some crackhead out hustle me. Because I did everything in my power to get high, so I might as well do everything in my power to, make sure my kids are happy, make sure my bills are paid, and that I'm happy. So that's kind of like the mentality I go now. So
I think that's amazing. I truly do, and I really, I will say this, um, I'm proud of you. Like, I
thank
really
you.
am.
I appreciate
Like,
that.
I think that's amazing, and I think a lot of times people don't hear that enough. And I think it sounds like it doesn't sound like it. You have come a very long way. And I mean, did you meet your husband while you were in addiction or out of addiction?
No, well, he knew me. I didn't know him in high school.
Fair enough.
He was a freshman. I was a senior. I guess he had a crush on me. I didn't know. We had mutual friends. But I would run into him, in my addiction at the bar or whatever. But I don't remember much. That's all kind of a daze. But then after I was clean a couple months, we ended up running into each other. He was friends with one of my cousins or two of my cousins, and we just started hanging out and he didn't pressure me into anything. He didn't want anything but to just spend time with me. Like he didn't want anything physical, nothing. So it was nice to like build a solid friendship and then just go from there because I wasn't looking for anything. And then he was there and I ended up moving in before we were even dating, and it's just, we've been together ever since. So it's been cool. Like we've gone to a bunch of concerts, we've done a bunch of things together, and now we're trying to navigate this hectic life with the kids, which isn't easy. Like it's most the statistics for marriages with kids with special needs is not good. Like most people end up getting divorced because it's just so stressful. So we're still trying to find that groove, I guess. Like I do most of the stuff because he is still it's hard for him to kind of process, I guess, like with their behaviors. But he trusts me to do what I need to do with the kids. He tries to help out where he can. And yeah, we're a pretty good team. I mean, we don't really fight ever. Like we just give each other space, and then one of us will break the silence with like a movie quote or something stupid.
That's awesome. That it
Yeah,
really is awesome. I think it sounds like you guys get each other really well, and that
yeah, too
you
well
are
sometimes.
well, it's good. Like you're able to, like where you feel like you've married your best friend, and
Yeah.
um I think that's amazing. I mean, from a guy that's like single and that dates, like it's a lot different, you know what I mean? On like I wouldn't wish a single life on anybody.
Oh my
It
God, yeah,
is
the horror stories I
extremely
hear these
challenging.
days, I'm so glad that I'm married. But I even told him, like, if this doesn't work out, you're still gonna have to like stay here. I won't like anybody else's cooking and this and that. He's like, yeah, we're just gonna stay together.
Yeah. I really did mean till death do us part.
So,
So
yeah, no, I told him that. I'm like, you can try and like, file for divorce, but we're not gonna do it.
good luck making it to the courthouse. But
Yeah, exactly. I will break your knees.
yeah. You ever see the movie Misery?
Oh yeah,
But
for sure. I
right.
told him that too, and he thought it was hilarious. So he gets my
No,
dark humor. It works.
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it is getting close to Halloween too, so I know that's a exciting time for you in the year,
Oh
and
yeah.
I'm sure we wish it could be Halloween all year, but
Oh yeah. I mean, it is inside my house and sometimes outside. I'm thankful my neighbors are pretty chill because I have skeletons outside my house 24/7, like all year round. I dress them up for different holidays and like make it fun for the kids in the neighborhood so they're not scared. But yeah, we're definitely a Halloween family for sure.
yeah, I'm definitely working on getting a little bit more festive with the Halloween time frame of the year. And I'm a big
Fun.
Christmas guy. Like I love Christmas.
We
Like it is
yeah,
my
we're
absolute
both
favorite
yeah,
time of
for
the
sure.
year. Like I
But the
just
all the lights and the music and it's so cozy. Like I love Christmas too, but I'm into the, macrame or whatever, fucking uh all the spooky stuff. I just like the dark beauty of everything. So
So I love scary movies, but like you're gonna probably laugh your ass off when you hear this. Like like vampire movies, like werewolves, all that's crazy. That doesn't scare me, right? Like even
uh
serial killers or anything like that. Like none of that stuff gets me. You put on The Conjuring though, like that movie is only allowed to be watched during the daytime. And
yeah, I can't do that. I have to do it during the daytime too. Even then I'll probably still close my
yeah,
eyes. Like
and like I mean, so I'll tell you a funny story. So the other night, right? My kid, like I said, he doesn't make it all night in his room. You know what I mean? So I
uh-huh.
have, his room's down the hallway from mine, which I kind of wish it was closer, but I have like little night lights that I got here off of Amazon that I they're like little puck lights. So he has like a
Yeah,
trail to get to my room
there you
that's
go.
lit up at night, right? And well, here's the thing. So the first time he ever came in my room, right? Like I elevated my bed. So now he needs like a step stool, right? So he pulls out his little step stool and opens it up,
I
climbs
love
on
it.
my bed. It's like 2 or 3 in the morning, sometimes 4 in the morning, right? He's the first time he came into my room, I thought I was getting robbed. Like, cause he's just like, he doesn't really say anything. Like, he'll be like, hi, right? It's just
Yeah.
hi. And he's just like the shadow over me. And I'm like, oh my God, like, am I getting like, and I'm,
Do you have any
like,
sleep paralysis even?
yeah, I'm asleep. So it's like, like I'm sleeping in my bed by myself. So I'm probably like in my boxers and like a tank top or a white beater. I don't know, right? Like I'm not in the full jammy get up here. Like there's no like silk jammies on and a smoking jacket when I go to bed. So, it's like I'm like, if I get robbed, like somebody's gonna rob me like half naked. And I'm like, oh my God,
Oh
I don't
yeah.
want to fight like I don't want to fight anybody like naked. So and then he's just sitting there like, hi, right? And then because like of those movies, like I get so scared where I'm like, they go after the kids first. They always go after the kids. And I'm like, and he was in his room playing one day, and I'm just looking at it, and I'm like, "Who are you talking to?" And, there was nobody else in the room, and it's like, you hear it's like he's kinda having this conversation, but, like, I didn't realize that the TV was on, and he was, it was, I guess, super low, and he's, like, talking to the elephants or something like that, or, that he likes to watch, and
Yeah.
but it's funny 'cause well, it was kind of the other night, so I'm asleep, right, and he's in my bed, I'm sleeping. I keep hearing this, like, this noise, like, I thought it was, like, pipes or something, right? And, at the end of the night, like, look, I pop an edible, and I've always kind of said, like, if you're going to haunt me, good luck to you, because I'm probably too lazy to acknowledge it. So it's like you could probably just do whatever haunting you wanted to do as a ghost, and I would just be too lazy to even entertain it. Like, yeah, right on, I'm going to bed. And
Yeah.
I turn on the light, and it stops. And I flipped out. I was like, okay, that's it, dude. We might have to move. Um, so let me ask you just what is like what's one message you think that you would say to yourself like 20 years ago? Like what if you could go back and tell 20 years ago Taylor, like what do you think that message is that you would share with her and maybe what to even expect?
Um, First one would probably be save your money. He ain't shit, and things will get better. Like, it definitely, things will get better. I'm glad that, when I was in my dark suicidal like moments, that it didn't like go through. Like, I wasn't successful. Because life, it's crazy, but life has gotten way better. Like, it's fun with the kids, and meeting new people, doing fun stuff like this. The shoots, all that. But basically, it gets better. You have to find the silver linings, and you have to find the humor in life. Um, and yeah, even if you have to laugh like a maniac, like, it'll get you through it. Like, nothing's that serious. Nothing lasts forever. So the bad stuff won't last forever. That's basically
Well,
all it is.
Taylor, as we mold and go into now the future for you, like what does the future hold to you? Do you want more kids? Do you want to do more modeling? Like, what is a direction you feel that your life is going to start going into from here?
That is a good question. So, no on the kids, because he got fixed. There's been
Got
a
the
little,
good, the good, got the good, the frozen peas on the
yeah,
center
exactly.
region there, but got snipped. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I definitely question if I want to go through that myself. It's definitely a teetering moment daily.
yeah. No, see, yeah, it's just because we're already kind of, things are already a little crazy. So definitely don't want to add more craziness to the mix.
Right.
And then, we always said that if we get like a video property, or and the kids are older and we could have their behaviors managed a little better, we would maybe adopt or foster or whatever, like, other special needs kids, or just kids that need
Get a
extra
goat.
love. Yeah, right now. Yeah. I'm like, I just want all the animals and all the kids that need love. So yeah, if I had a big ranch, I would definitely foster or adopt more kids. The last two pregnancies almost like killed me, so definitely not having any more.
Yeah.
Um, and then as for the future, it's kind of a secret, but that's why I do it in other room. But I'm going to school to get my teaching degree and
Awesome.
to be a special ed teacher. And with that degree, I can also become a professional advocate for families of special needs kids. So I'm kind of, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem, has always been my grandma's motto. So I'm trying to be part of the solution, because it's so dire that, for special needs or special education teachers, because they're so far and few in between. So just, doing that, trying to get my art business back up and running. Hopefully more photo shoots. I've been doing a lot of promo shoots for friends, especially on Halloween is when they all call me to do stuff. Well, like all that, creepy shit. But just, making sure the kids are thriving is basically my only future plans. Yeah, I'm surviving while they're living their best life. So one of these days I'll be living in the moment with them instead of trying to survive it.
Yeah, I always say like it's an investment with kids, right? Like I'm gonna need somebody to wipe my butt at some point.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the whole thing. I'm like, well, I mean, we're still like, my oldest two are 6 and 7, and we've been working on potty training for 4 years. Like, they're still doing pull-ups. My oldest has no doesn't seem to show any interest or intent in potty training. So that's
Give me
kind
one
of
second,
difficult.
Taylor.
Yeah.
Give me one. All right. So, Taylor, let me ask you our one final signature question that I like to ask
Okay.
everyone is when you think about your journey as a mom, as a model, and someone who's overcome addiction, when you hear what does life in all directions mean to you? Like, what comes to your mind in regards to maybe different directions that your life is gone or going, or even sometimes being pulled from?
I feel like as a parent in general, you're pulled in all sorts of different directions, especially when you have multiple kids. And I always joke because you know, I feel like I have multiple personalities. I'm always in different directions anyway. But it's just, it's part of the journey. We're not, we're supposed to be on this straight path, but you know, life has side quests and obstacles and all sorts of stuff, and you just gotta decide which ones are worth the points and which ones are, you want to scrap and skip. But life in all directions is just, part for the course, part of the adventure. So as long as I can find that silver lining and there's something that I can laugh at, I'm down.
I think that's amazing. I think it's definitely life has pulled you from different directions. You've found your journey, and within all of the chaos, there's still moments of peace in there.
Oh yeah.
Look, I definitely want to give you a huge thank you to Taylor today for being being vulnerable with your story from motherhood, from dealing with our children with autism and
Mhm.
addiction, resilience. Like, this episode is truly a reminder, guys, that strength doesn't come from a perfect life. It comes from pushing forward toward the imperfect moments. And if this conversation has spoken to you in any single way today, share this episode with somebody who needs to hear it. Drop a comment. I'm going to put all of Taylor's socials in our bio here for this episode. So please feel free to reach out to her if you just want to be, find another good mom to talk to. She has definitely helped me with so many things, and just my breakdown conversations with her that you've gotten from me of in the middle of the evening, like, I don't know what to do. This kid's driving me crazy, but um, I'm sure she would love to hear it. She is a very open beacon to just a great wealth of support and knowledge as a parent. And again, I am truly thankful for you today, Taylor.
Yeah.
I appreciate it all. And I'm your host, Dante
So
Street,
much.
reminding you that life is not just lived in one lane, it is lived in all different directions. Until next time, keep showing up for you, keep showing up for your family, keep protecting your peace, and keep leading with love. Thank you so much. Appreciate you today.
Thank you.